He is going for his 29th win in only 3 years today. West Virginia won the toss. They will receive. And they'll take it up across the 32-33-yard line. Jock Sanders on the return. Geno Smith, the sophomore quarterback out of Miami, Florida, has had a very, very good year. 22 touchdown passes, only 6 interceptions.
Yeah, he has been a real pleasant surprise for this football team, and his composure. And, you know, Bill Stewart's got this saying he likes to mention, don't blink to his team. Geno Smith doesn't blink. Something goes awry, something's bad, just get back in the game, figure out how to make the next play better.
Noel Devine will start the game at tailback. He has been bothered since the 4th game of the year. Instead, they give it to Ryan Clark, the big back, and he'll get about a yard up the middle.
This West Virginia offensive line, no one individual up top. They all play well together, though, as a unit, which provides the time for Geno Smith to throw the football at 64%. The backs and receivers, Noel Devine has had that injury. But Austin is an outstanding player who can take it the distance every time he touches it.
He's in the slot. Sanders goes in motion. 4-man rush, and they throw incomplete to Jock Sanders.
Well, I got to tell you, those first 2 plays here are a way that Rutgers would like to have started the football game. You know, have West Virginia not executing. The defensive line, Charlie Noonan, he's the captain at number 96, and he's a good footballer. So is Silvestro. These linebackers are active, led by Antonio Lowry. And in the secondary, Green, number 20, is a guy that has 72 tackles. He's played extremely well this season.
3rd and long for the Mountaineers. Smith goes to the shotgun. Blitz coming. He hangs in a pocket and just hangs the ball up, incomplete. And there's going to be a flag. It was Tavon Austin, and LaFege was right in his face. Austin trying to come back to the ball. And that would draw
pass interference, 26 defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So the Mountaineers get a break.
Absolutely a break here. I think this is a bad call. It looks like that the pressure comes from the middle. Geno Smith is forced to throw the ball up, basically just a Hail Mary. Little bit of contact there, but LaFege, he's not in there. He's not doing anything. The contact just as the ball's getting there. That's one of those bang-bang plays.
Devine comes back in at tailback after 2 spectacular 1,000-plus seasons. He has really been limited by that toe injury, and they really don't even let him run the ball that much anymore. Jock Sanders, 40, 30. The little guy knocked out of bounds inside the 25. Sanders with 59 catches this year. That was a gain of 29. LaFege pushed him out of bounds.
Well, you know what? If you're Rutgers and you're watching this game, you're saying, wow, this has been kind of the story of our season. We get a pass interference call after we stop the deal. The very next play, West Virginia wakes up. Sanders is one of those guys, just an explosive player, which is typical of a West Virginia Mountaineer offensive player.
He and Devine are going to be the 2 diminutive seniors that they hate to lose the most, guys who have really produced big yardage. Devine says he doesn't have that initial burst and really can't make the cuts that made him famous, made him a Heisman Trophy candidate. And there are people around here who will tell you, had he been healthy again this year, they might be undefeated at this point.
We have seen him in his career make some cuts that were just amazing. And for him not to have it, but still have the courage to go out and play and try to do what he can for this team, shows his leadership.
Sure does. They bunch 3 wide receivers to the right this time. And Devine straight up the middle. Not bad for a guy that's hurt. 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. LaFege, who's been busy from his safety spot, made another tackle.
Yeah, now everybody has to stay at home. Watch up here in the linebacker. Watch what happens at the snap of the ball. You see how there's a fill there, and it leaves a big void back on play side. That's just a smart play. Geno Smith reading, sees where to give the football, and you have to play sound gap control against this offense or you'll lose.
Ryan Clark, big number 32, comes in again. Clark will get the carry, spins off 1 tackle, goes down, ball came loose. Rutgers has it. That is the mistake that cost them the Connecticut game, the game that may cost them a BCS bid. Ultimately, was Clark fighting for extra yardage and fumbling the ball.
Clark's a good player. He has tailback capabilities at 245 pounds. And when you start dancing around down inside here, when everybody's around you on defense, you see a nice move. Once you move, that football you've got to really secure. It got a little loose in his hands as he made the spin.
Watch his left knee. No, it's going to be Rutgers football. And Dodd running for his life on the first play, taken down at the 5. Chase Dodd sacked 16 times in the last 2 weeks.
I think if you're a quarterback at Rutgers, giving up those 55 sacks, having a name as Chase. Chased Dodd.
It could have been Dodge.
Chased Dodge. That's right. Nickname him Chase Dodge Ball.
Thomas will start at the tailback spot, and he just got back to the line of scrimmage.
Now this Rutgers offensive line, there's a lot of work that has to be done up there. They've tried to mix and match, moving folks around all throughout the season, trying to find the right formula to give Dodd a chance to throw the football. He can play the game, and they have talent on the inside, but it's just not been enough protection in there to let any of these guys. Mohamed Sanu, an outstanding player, but you got to give the quarterback time to get him the ball.
3rd and long, the worst scenario Rutgers could have drawn up. 55 sacks allowed this year. By far, #1 in the country. They get it out of his hands in a hurry on the flanker screen. Will take it up across the 15-yard line, but they'll have to punt it away.
I think this is a win for Rutgers, though. You know what? They're able to get the turnover, right? And to give their defense a chance to go back on the field and change the field position of the deal. That last play, you just saw a very fast West Virginia defense, didn't you? I mean, that play had all the earmarks of a really good play, and West Virginia went and found him.
West Virginia will send back a double safety, Delegana, who had been injured earlier, to punt. Sanders looking for a block, trying to reverse his field. He's at midfield and dives forward into Rutgers territory. Return of 7 after a punt of 41. West Virginia has it for the second time in a scoreless first quarter. When the visitors arrived, they said they came in peace. They lied. ABC's V. They return Tuesday, January 4th on ABC. They also failed to mention that part about being lizards.
Yeah, keeps me off that island.
Geno Smith in the shotgun on first down. Has time and throws to Tavon Austin. What a move! He just hopped out of the way and got another 5.
This guy has running back skills, and you saw that right there after he catches the football, but wide receiver hands. And in this offense, and with Geno throw the football, I think the future is he's a wide receiver.
Well, he's already stated his intention that he would like to stay there. Bill Stewart was determined to bring him in as the little scat back. As you see Devine trying to make a cut and gets inside the 35 to the 34. But Bill Stewart has changed his mind. He said Tavon Austin is too valuable on the outside, and he would like to get a couple of bigger backs in there instead of these guys that go 175 pounds.
Yeah, well, plus you just can look no further than Noel Devine to see what happens when you're running back smaller and what the body, the blows that it takes. Austin has the ability on the outside to stay a lot healthier and have explosive plays.
Here's the running back of the future, number 20, Sean Alston. He's behind Clark. Alston, nice cut inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Alston is 5'11", 222 pounds out of Hampton, Virginia.
Yeah, it's interesting, Bill Stewart's comment about, down the road, we're going to change this idea of the zone read because Geno Smith, a sophomore, is more inclined in his skill set to throw the football. And he's not a running quarterback, and they don't have depth there. So you're going to see a little different Mountaineer offense in the future.
3rd down and 3 for West Virginia. Smith complete for a first down and more to the big fullback Ryan Clark. And he's taken down by Antonio Lowry, the leading tackler on this Rutgers football team. That's a play they like a lot, that little quick bootleg.
Yeah, the wisdom here just shows you the maturity. Get the ball ready to come out of your hand when you're coming on that bootleg. And an accurate thrower. We've seen Smith do this throughout the season. If you give him time to throw, he'll find his receiver.
He has really come on. And he is actually the third different quarterback to start for the Mountaineers in the last 3 years. Flanker screen to Austin, had a block in front. Tavon Austin, touchdown. 19 yards. And these wide receivers, Craig, block so well downfield.
You know you have a chance to spring someone, Mike. So when you're downfield, the talent that they have is going to open up that field for them. They all reciprocate. You don't have to blow them up. You just have to occupy. We saw Sanders do that right there.
Looked like J.D. Woods, number 81, had his man on the ground. Bittenkurt comes on for the point after. And the Mountaineers jump on top 7-0. Geno Smith 3 for 3 for 41 yards and a touchdown on that drive.
ESPN's College Football on ABC, brought to you by K Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. Every kiss begins with K. Ram Trucks, designed, tested, and proven to be the best trucks we've ever built. Ram. And Dr. Pepper Cherry, with a little kiss of cherry flavor.
Our crew had its annual flag football game yesterday right here at Mountaineer Field. Catch out Jerome Moore's catch in the end zone. Everybody was physically able to make it to work today, amazingly enough. Some were limping. Jerome, nice catch, buddy.
Woo, nice job. I also heard Marty, he had a fumble in the game. How do you fumble in a flag football game?
That's a good question.
Holy cow. Come on, Marty. Hold on to the football, Philadelphia.
Corey Smith to kick it off for West Virginia as they jump on top. And Joe LaFege, averaging 25 yards a return, is back with Mason Robinson. Robinson at the 7. Had a seam across the 30 and stumbles out to the 33-yard line.
Go back and show you here, Mike, a little difference here. You had a 3-man rush coming by Rutgers. They thought, let's put 8 into coverage, right? We're going to have more bodies in space to take care of the swing screens. But it just doesn't work. You don't see Rutgers really getting to the football. Nice job of blocking by West Virginia. But if you're going to have 8 back there, certainly you should have enough bodies to stop the receiver.
Jordan Thomas, number 29, is the tailback behind Chase Dodd. And Dodd goes back to throws out in the flat. It's going to be complete for about 3 yards and no more to Mark Harrison, who was their leading receiver in terms of yards this year, almost 800 yards on the season.
Bill Stewart believes this has perhaps the fastest defense that he's had here. Chris Neal up front, number 90. He'll play on Sundays. A really good unit there. The linebackers, as well as a good Sidney Glover, number 4. J.T. Thomas, he plays well. Brandon Hogan in the secondary. It's just about speed, though. These guys can run.
Now they're going to go with Deering in the Wildcat formation, and instead they get it out to Thomas. Deering checks in. They run a lot of Wildcat with Sanu and Deering. Both of them very quick, and both of them listed as wide receivers.
Yeah, it just gives them an attitude when they've got it back there like this. And, you know, Deering's a guy that had 166 yards on the ground against Syracuse. So they'll find a way to get their skilled players the ball in their hands, not necessarily via the pass because they can't pass pro.
They are loaded with freshman skill players. Deering is in to take the direct snap again. He'll keep it this time, and the Mountaineers ready for him. They got him in the backfield, and leading the charge was Anthony Leonard and Najee Good, the linebackers. And these guys have such tremendous speed. They can chase down even.
You see 9 blue jerseys in that box right there, Mike. It's going to be really hard to run against that. They're going to sit there and say, okay, you have got to throw the football if you're going to beat us. We're not going to let you beat us with the run.
Chase Dodd checks in. One of the problems with having Thomas, the tailback, who's in there now, he's only a freshman, doesn't pass protect that well. Dodd back to throw, under pressure, down he goes. Sack number 56. That was a coverage sack. Julian Miller got there. And one of the problems you're going to have, if a quarterback holds the ball that long, he's going against it.
Yeah, and watch the drop. You know, when you see him go back and he puts his foot in the ground, there's pass protection up front. It's not that bad. Let it go. Against this Mountaineer defense, who's extremely fast, you got to let the ball go. Throw it away. Don't take the sack.
Julian Miller already has 2 sacks on the day, giving him 7 on the season. West Virginia showing a 5-man front. 3rd and long for Rutgers. 4-man pressure. Dodd flushed out of the pocket. Throws on the run, knocked away, nearly intercepted. Mountaineers had a shot at that, and it was Royster who got a hand on it. Let's check the penalty marker.
Holding, 73 offense, penalty decline, 4th down.
Desmond Stapleton, who has played pretty well at that left tackle spot this year, called for the hold. They are going to decline that and force a punt.
Now, when you look down here, it wasn't that long ago when they were pretty good at not allowing anybody to get to the quarterback.
They were great.
Yeah, but I've already seen right here, Chase Dodd's going to have to run football. He can't see beyond that 6'5" offensive line in front of him. He can't see the field.
Sanders and Hogan, twin safeties. Hogan all the way back inside the 10. And falls out across to 25 to the 27-yard line. Nice 18-yard return after a pretty 52-yard punt. We are in the midst of Jimmy V Week to support the V Foundation for Cancer Research. For more information, go to jimmyv.org. Here's take over at their own 27 with Devine, the single setback, beside Geno Smith. Smith, quarterback draw. They are not very confident in their depth at quarterback. But for a couple of games during the season, they were running the read option, and there was no option in it, Craig. He didn't carry the ball at all, and Bill Stewart said, hey, but we got to play.
Absolutely. You've got to play. You can't worry about the injury, and you must run the quarterback 2 or 3 times at a minimum on each game to force the defense to look at you back there.
And he can run. Smith throws over the middle. Jock Sanders dives across the 40.
Well, you don't have to, if you're a Mountaineer fan, think back too far to figure out when this guy really came of age. Marshall. That ball young man just bring his team back with precision in overtime to beat Marshall early in there. You're talking about a game that saved the season.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah,
they were done.
It was good. It was over.
Yes, it was, and Geno Smith saved it. Sits in the pocket, throws, and caught at the sideline. J.D. Woods out of Naples, Florida. West Virginia's done a really good job, as have most of the Big East schools, of recruiting speed in Florida.
You know what? How nice a throw is that? Showing some arm strength, and then for Wood to stand in there, know he's going to get drilled. Takes a lot of courage.
This kid really has an arm. Devine, a little stutter step out to the 48-yard line. Alex Silvestro made the tackle for the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers.
How about, speaking of the Big East this week, getting the great news that TCU is joining their conference in football.
Well, they're thrilled about that, aren't they?
Well, I tell you what, man, you're looking at, you got J.D. Woods from Florida. All of a sudden, the state of Texas opens up to some of these schools in the Big East to go down and recruit.
And there have been a few decent players come out of Texas. Here's Woods. Nice catch. Spins around, gets a block downfield to the Rutgers 30. 22 yards.
Okay, so we've seen on this series here, Geno Smith step up and run the football, right? Now you've got the eyes of the linebackers making sure that he's not going to run, and Geno Smith steps up in the pocket, doesn't take off, throws the ball down the field. It's just a quarterback that understands how to manage a game and to find the receivers in the check down.
He is only a sophomore, but he has grown leaps and bounds in this offense this year. This time he'll run the option, gains about a yard. The development with TCU, I don't think the Big East is done. I think they would like to add another blockbuster to this football conference.
And I'd go down to the state of Florida. I'd look at UCF. I'd look at, I'd go down somewhere that you can have an impact in recruiting. And I think it's a fabulous move bringing TCU in. Instant perception-wise, a positive in football. Takes away what the Big East has had with a negative perception.
2nd and 9. Smith out in the flat to Devine. Swallowed up there at the 33.
Well, if it happened today, you see over where the Big East is, and they're on the move up, and that's a good thing. But the Mountain West, I believe the Big East with TCU in there definitely jumps up in perception-wise.
Well, considering where TCU would put the Big East right now, consider this: it's been a down year for Big East teams. If they were having a banner year and they had TCU, they go way up. Blitz coming. Smith trying to get rid of it. Does. Completes it to Sanders inside the 20. Lost the football. And may have gotten it back. No, Rutgers has it. The second West Virginia fumble, knocking on the doorstep against that Rutgers defense.
Well, there are two sides to every coin when it comes to big plays. And Jock Sanders, we've seen him many times with the second and third effort make great explosive plays. But once you start doing that, you expose yourself. And you've got to take care of the football. Rutgers defense trying as best they can to have a great game to give that offense a chance to stay in this thing.
If you're on the West Virginia sideline right now, you're one of the coaches, you're saying, does this look horribly a lot like the Connecticut game to you? I mean, they have to be freaking out over there. Thomas goes straight up the middle of the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 7. You cannot continually make mistakes against anybody, even a team like Rutgers that has lost 5 in a row. You keep them in it, they become more and more dangerous.
And they got nothing to lose. Rutgers is loose. They're gonna let it go and try things today that might surprise West Virginia.
Thomas on the delay again. Hit at the stick, falls forward, ball's loose. West Virginia says they have it, and coming out with it is J.T. Thomas. And it's West Virginia's football. Well, that's one way to make up for a mistake. Get it right back.
Now, you saw Greg Schiano saying he was down. You got the official still trying to mark one spot. He's got 2 hands on the ball. It's starting to become loose. That ball, well, he still got it. Yeah, it looks like he was out before he hit the ground.
And West Virginia did a heck of a job at keeping him up so that other guys could come in and strip him. Terrence Garvin, the strong safety, was the guy who got it out of there. They'll review this play, obviously.
Jordan Thomas is a true freshman, and you just got to understand that when you're down and you're playing against a team like West Virginia that gets a lot of helmets to the ball, if I'm the running back coach, I'm saying, fellas, you better make sure you hold on to it. And he's trying to get the 2 hands to it. Looking for indisputable video evidence to overturn the rule. I think that ball's out. Ball's out before he goes to the ground.
Bob Welch is the replay official. He'll be taking a look at this. And it's the kind of mistake that Rutgers, with their lack of firepower, cannot afford to make. They've gotten 2 big breaks on West Virginia fumbles.
I think the ball is out. I know Greg Schiano was more hoping it was down.
Well, Thomas spent a lot of time on top of a defender. He never got to the ground.
And you know what, Thomas started.
After further review, the play stands as called on the field.
But Thomas came into this season as a wide receiver in camp. They moved him to running back once football started. So it was just, just the experience and the wherewithal of protecting it. And I know he's trying. He's got two hands. He's trying to, but you got to keep it high and tight next to that rib cage.
Defenses have gotten so good at that. The first guy makes the tackle. The second guy comes in and rips at the ball. Alston is the tailback. West Virginia comes out with wide receivers. Alston gets the carry, a little jump step there, down to the 8-yard line. It was Anthony Lowry, the outside linebacker, who made the tackle. Lowry has had an outstanding career at Rutgers.
Rutgers, just a football team this season, has had to deal with a lot of emotions. You know, with LeGrand, their teammate going down earlier, just had some serious issues with trying to just get mentally ready to play each week.
Empty backfield for Smith. 3-man rush. Out in the flat to Sanders. Sanders breaks a tackle. Dives inside the 1. Saving stop by David Rowe. And West Virginia again knocking on the door. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. 7-0 West Virginia as we start the second quarter, Craig.
Well, Rutgers is trying to figure out how they can do something to just get more bodies into space and to make a play, to try to confuse this West Virginia offense. You see they've dropped 8 again, but they're just not getting to the ball carrier. They got to get there. They got to finish the play.
Third down from the 1. Ryan Clark is in at the up back spot. Devine goes in motion. And Clark, all 247 pounds of him, bounces off a tackle and goes outside. Tried to dive over the top, was rejected, somehow kept his balance and took it outside. Two of the linebackers, Brew and Boharness, both hit him as he went over the top. And Clark said, that's all right, I'll just go this way.
I think the word that coaches talk about around here at West Virginia regarding Clark is thumper. When you're 240-something, you can thump a lot of people. But a short yardage goal line specialist and probably has a bright future. Only a sophomore at maybe the tailback position.
I mean, you don't think of a guy at 247 pounds who specializes in short yardage runs as being that nifty. Bittenkurt follows with the point after, and West Virginia extends its lead to 14-0. The Mountaineers, where would they be right now if they hadn't fumbled twice? Welcome back to college football presented by K Jewelers. You better believe that Owen Schmidt, the former Mountaineer and the current Philadelphia Eagle, really appreciated that last run. Big back, 250 pounds, showing some quick feet and some balance.
He, I think, is my favorite West Virginia Mountaineer of all time.
He was great.
Remember now, he's the guy that used to headbutt himself with his own helmet. He would have liked Clark's run here, just bouncing, don't give it up. I think, though, West Virginia has missed Owen Schmidt more than any player that they have lost, including Pat White, because there was so much Schmidt could do as an H-back, tight end, fullback. He gave him a presence inside and an attitude.
Guy takes his helmet off and then goes looking for a headbutt. He's my guy.
And if he can't find someone to butt, he uses his own helmet on himself.
Robinson to return for Rutgers across the 20, 25-30. Swallowed up at the 33-yard line and pushed back. Tonight, first on the line on the ESPN family of networks. On ESPN at 7:45, number 21 Florida State against number 15 Virginia Tech. It's the Dr. Pepper ACC Championship. On ESPN 2 at 8. Connecticut needing a win to clinch the Big East faces South Florida. Then on ABC at 8, number 9 Oklahoma, number 13 Nebraska in the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. Dr. Pepper Championship weekend on ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC. Chase Dodd running for his life, throws incomplete. That's when you need some help from a tight end like D.C. Jefferson. When you do get outside the pocket, you're able to throw, considering their lack of success. You can't have the guy drop the ball.
And you know what? Dodd did the right thing by pressing the corner, opening up. Jefferson makes the nice throw with the shoulders. And that's just, again, another storyline for this Rutgers offense, inconsistency.
Now they'll go with Jeremy Deering, number 18 in the Wildcat. He was a high school quarterback but didn't throw that much, and Deering lowers his shoulder and takes it out to the 37-yard line. J.T. Thomas on the stop. Sanu, who had gotten a lot of playing time at that Wildcat spot, or as they call it, the Wild Knight, has had an ankle injury. He can actually really throw the ball. Sanu has an arm that can get the ball downfield 70 yards.
Deering's more of a swing pass thrower, not deep down the field.
3rd and long, Dodd goes to the shotgun. Already been sacked twice. There's the little swing pass. Got it out to Cordell Young. And Young taken down the 2-yard line. That's going to be shy of the first down. Robert Sands, who was an enormous safety at 6'5", 225, made the tackle.
Yeah, Stu was saying that he hits so hard they need to put a little more muscle on him so he can take those blows, and he's trying to teach him a little bit more of a form tackling.
He just blows people up right now.
Yeah, and sometimes blowing him.
Exactly. Sullivan is on to kick, and Sanders waits back at his 20. It's a fake. They throw it, and I don't know if they got the first down. That's a good mark up near the 45, and it is going to be a first down if that spot is there.
I like the call. How many times have we seen Greg Schiano call a fake field goal, fake punt, something big that he needs for his team, understands the situation? You're down 14-0. More than likely, you're not going to stop West Virginia, but I thought it was a nice spot, the right spot.
Very well executed. Patrick Kivlahan makes the tackle, and he was across that yellow line, unofficial though it may be. Dodd straight back to throw. Good protection this time. Wants to go deep down the middle. Throws it up for grabs. Incomplete. Intended for Harrison. But Harrison could not get away from Keith Tandy, who is 4th in the country with 6 interceptions and has had a terrific second half of the season.
It is absolutely Dodd's favorite target, but Harrison's got to keep running on that ball. And he kind of gave up about 30 yards down, started to alter his route. You just got to stay with it. Use your height. Go down there. You're 6'3". You got an advantage.
Todd's a freshman. Harrison's a sophomore. Thomas, another youngster. Sanu is a sophomore. Deering is a freshman. Just loaded with young talent, but they have had the wheels fall off the second half of the season.
Now watch 70 Desmond win when he pulls on this play, and it just doesn't seem like Thomas feels it. I know the play is designed to go inside, but you got to be patient and use your vision as a runner so that you can make the cut outside if that defensive end bails on you in the side.
Number 11, Bruce Irvin, is on the far side of the West Virginia defensive line. He is the designated pass rush specialist. He has 10 sacks. Transfer from junior college. He's double teamed. Dodd hangs in the middle, throws incomplete. The Mountaineers broke it up as Tandy was there along with Ian Smith. When you get a reputation like Irvin and you've got all those sacks like once every 7, you're going to get them.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's down the middle of the field, and Dodd was looking down the middle of the field the whole time. I think that's one of those where you just got to recognize underneath, check it down, man. There was an opening to get a first down and keep the football in your possession.
So the fake punt worked, but they can't keep the drive alive. Delegano to kick to Sanders. Poor kick, and it takes a West Virginia bounce. So the Mountaineers will start outside their own 25 after a kick of only 27 yards. 14-0 West Virginia over Rutgers.
ESPN's College Football on ABC, brought to you by Chevrolet. John Hancock, the future is yours. And the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
That's the Hall of Tradition here at West Virginia, celebrating the history of the Mountaineer football program. I like to see the old uniforms, the old helmets. To me, that's always the most interesting part of any exhibits like that.
But the kids, these young high schoolers, they like to see the new helmets.
Yeah.
They like to see all of that, like the helmets last week West Virginia wore. I thought they were pretty cool.
I did too. Like the helmets more than the uniforms, but I understand exactly what they were trying to do is honor the coal industry in West Virginia, which is a huge part of the economy here. J.D. Woods with another catch. He's seeing a lot of playing time here in the first half. That's 3 grabs for Woods, who only had 13 coming into this ball game.
Yeah, these first 4 possessions, if they don't have mistakes, I think you see what West Virginia's offense is capable of doing, scoring 6.
They have finally started to hit their stride in the last month, and Devine very close to a first down, stopped by Manny Abreu.
You know, from a national standpoint, the Big East wins, I think, perception-wise, if West Virginia is the BCS team. I mean, I think people around the country are looking at it and saying UConn, if UConn wins, and we know that UConn's a good football team. But from the perception standpoint, the country looks at West Virginia far greater than they do UConn.
Well, just go back and take a look at West Virginia winning the Sugar Bowl over Georgia and winning over Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. Those were huge BCS wins. And West Virginia trying to get the first down, and Ryan Clark will carry up to the 39. And I think that's one of the reasons for that perception.
Yeah, but you know, when you look at what West Virginia can do on the field, we see how in open space their speed gives them a chance against most teams around the country.
There is no doubt their speed offensively and defensively will let them compete. Smith dancing around in the pocket. Still looking for blocks, throws just off the fingertips of Devine, who ended up out in the pattern. Smith has a really good demeanor about him as a quarterback, very calm.
It's if you're a coach, it's comforting to have that calm when you've got so much explosion around him. Everybody else can take it the distance, right? Just have one guy that distributes the ball to his playmakers.
That incompletion broke a string of 11 in a row for Smith. So he's 11 for 13 on this young day. Devine nowhere to go. He was down, the ball came loose, no whistle. And they are going to say Rutgers has the football. Abreu got it out of there and made the recovery, number 51. From up here, it looked like he was down. Let's take a look.
It's just, you know, right before. Yeah, I think the elbow hits the ground, which causes the fumble, and that can't be the case. They're going to snap this as fast as they can. Oh, they didn't get it off. There's a challenge by Coach Stu. He knew it.
Wouldn't you like to see that rule changed?
Where you can't go snap it?
West Virginia, first time out of the half.
I mean, the whole idea of the replay system is to get it right. Got a rule in there that allows somebody to snap the ball prematurely before they would otherwise, so you don't get it right.
Under first review.
I kind of like it because it forces the hand of the coach who didn't have the play go his way.
It does that.
He's got to be on his toes. Yeah, I think the ground causes the fumble, which, as we know, can't be.
His forearm is on the ground.
I had a teammate one in New England. He said, "Fumble can't cause the ground, cuz." I said, "Well, I think you got that a little bit messed up on your what you're trying to tell me."
Well, that's probably true too.
But see, the craziness is, I understood him.
If this call stands, this would be the third West Virginia fumble that they lost in the first half.
Noel Devine, just not the same player he was prior to that toe injury. And your feet, if your legs and your feet aren't right, and explosive as Devine is, he just can't make the plays that you used to make. That's too bad, because he is one heck of a player.
Boy, he is.
Woo. And he would have stayed in the Heisman race. He'd have definitely been a Heisman guy this year.
The previous 2 years, Devine had rushed for 1,289 yards in 08 and 1,465 yards last year. They were expecting that he could easily crack the 1,500-yard mark this year. He's got a little more than half of that.
I remember watching him play his freshman year, doing a game on a Thursday night at Maryland, and he came in and he took over for Slayton. It was, what we thought was mop-up duty, and of course Maryland coaches were asking, put Slayton back in. Yeah, they're looking for indisputable video evidence to overturn this ruling on the field. Maybe the ball, you know what, Mike? That helmet is on the football, and maybe it was starting to come loose prior to the elbow going to the ground. It could be.
Well, they have to find the indisputable evidence to overturn the call on the field, which was a fumble. That's why that initial call is so important.
I was visiting with a replay official this week at a fundraiser Monday night. He was telling me that all of the replays that are done around the country, they review. These crews get them and they study them. And these guys work hard. They've got a tough job to do. The replay booth, they're under pressure.
After further review, the runner's right hip and right elbow hit the ground before the ball came loose. There was no fumble on the play. West Virginia is not charged a timeout.
So Bill Stewart able to get that timeout. Greg Schiano unhappy about it. We'll give you this one last look. 2 body parts being down before the ball came out. And Craig, you're right about these replay officials. These guys work very, very hard. And in the ultimate scheme of things, they do a terrific job.
And many times, Mike, we've improved on it, but it's the communication between the replay officials, the field officials, us here in the booth, the fans, the viewers at home when we're watching. Many times we don't really know exactly what they're looking for, so we start making some guesses and assumptions, and puts a lot of pressure on them. The hip, you can see the hip going down, so they put 2 and 2 together there. Hip and elbow were both down, and not a fumble.
They lost 8 on the play, even though they got the ball back, and it's 3rd and very long. West Virginia needs to reach the 49-yard line for a first down. I'm not sure what the current delay is. It may be about where the ball was marked or how much time is on the clock. That is usually an issue.
Well, it's time stamped there on the video that they're watching in the replay booth, and they can quickly look at it and let the referee know, hey, here's where it was on the clock.
I think this is what bothers people about any replay at any level, is once you have determined who's got it, let's play.
Yeah, well, they're looking for the spot of the ball right now. But I agree with you. I don't remember the game we did one night. It was so long they were booing.
Yeah,
the break. But they got it right here.
The bunch 3 wide receivers to the near side. Coming. Smith steps up, throws underneath, incomplete. Looks like his arm was hit just as he was trying to get rid of it, and it's incomplete. Well, they brought the house that time.
They sure did, and they brought the house. Greg Schiano's a good, smart football coach. His defensive staff, they understand tendencies, formations. They teach their players how to listen at the line of scrimmage to know what the calls are. They learn. So the pressure there coming to Geno Smith, maybe just didn't feel it, didn't see it.
Marcus Cooper came from a safety spot. He's the one credited with tipping that pass. Pugnetti to punt. Rutgers is a team that has 6 punt blocks this year. They are very dangerous. They come hard again and almost got there. Robinson fair catch on the return at the 21-yard line. Rutgers brought 3 guys, barely missed the punt block. Turned out to be a 44-yard punt with no return. You're trying to stake its claim to a share of the Big East title. At least 3 Big East schools still alive. UConn, of course, controls its own destiny. They're in if they beat USF tonight. They're also in the head-to-head tiebreaker if they lose, but the other contenders do too. West Virginia gets the nod if they win and UConn loses. Pitt is also alive. If they win and the others lose, would be in. Deering is in there going on the wild night on first down from the 21-yard line. Rutgers only has 32 yards so far in this game. Deering straight up the middle, bounced off 1 tackle out to the 27. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, Craig.
Yeah, you know what? West Virginia has been able to overcome a couple of fumbles. Geno Smith started out for 11 of 11. He's been hot distributing the ball on the outside, and his playmakers doing their job, and then Clark, the big guy, bouncing off the pile, getting it into the end zone. And right now, I get the feeling that West Virginia is trying their best not to play down to Rutgers level, you know, and stop turning the ball over, and they'll be okay.
First time out of the half.
Rutgers calls timeout. And we have 9:13 to go in the first half to play. Mountaineers up by 2 touchdowns. Rutgers comes out in the wild night for Deering, the freshman out of Tampa. 6'3", 205 in the ballgame, and he's head straight up the middle. And he's got the first down out to the 33. Thanks to our friends at EA Sports, Craig James takes a look at West Virginia's defense with the James game.
Yeah, a guy named Bruce Irvin, number 11, high motor guy. You see him, you got to stay after him the whole time. Gets the sack. He also has technique. Watch his hands. Slap down the tackle's hands. He gets around the outside. The reason we show you that right now, this Rutgers offense getting into a passing game mentality, or Bruce Irvin will become a household name on this afternoon.
His transfer from California, played junior college ball there. Thomas goes straight up the middle, able to get a couple of yards to the 37, stopped by the middle linebacker Anthony Leonard.
Irvin, he's 235 pounds, has great speed, 10 sacks coming into the day. And Coach Stu just raves about this guy, doesn't he?
They think he's going to be a full-time defensive end, a pass-rushing defensive end next year.
I like that. You know, when you watch him and on this team here, Chris Neal, number 90 on the inside, who occupies a lot of bodies, sure makes it tough to block on the outside when number 11's coming hard.
Thomas, the running back, has a nice haul off the left side, and Thomas has another first down out to the 45-yard line. So after gaining 32 yards in about the first quarter and a half, Rutgers has run out 2 first downs in a row here to the 45-yard line.
Hey, you know what? The Rutgers offensive line's doing a nice job of not allowing penetration. I like what they're doing here. Methodical. Again, this is a well-coached football team that has some talent players. They just haven't had it come together this season.
4 straight runs of 7, 5, 4, and 8 for the Scarlet Knights. Deering in the wild night formation again tries the middle, bounces outside, and swallowed up by a bunch of blue shirts, but picks up 7. Robert Flores has an update from the studio. Robert.
Hey, Mike, Dion Lewis had just 34 yards in the loss last week to West Virginia. He's got 163 yards and 3 touchdowns right now as Pitt leads Cincinnati 21-7. Conference USA Championship being played right now on ESPN2. Central Florida leads SMU 7-0 late first half. Mike.
Oh, Robert, thanks very much. D'Angelo Williams checks in at running back. Dodd is back to throw. Good protection this time. Throws wide. He can't waste those opportunities. He hasn't too many where he can set his feet in the pocket.
Well, this is a team. Now, again, think back to last year. Tom Savage, who's a sophomore this year, came in, had a fabulous freshman season.
Yes, he did.
A phenomenal season.
14 touchdown passes, only 7 picks.
There you go. And so it was a team MVP in their awards. A great player. And Chase Dodd came in and just kind of got hot his first game, started against UConn for 322 and kept the job.
Savage had a hand injury that gave Dodd his opportunity. Little push pass out to Cordell Young, and Young has a first down for Rutgers.
But Tom Savage, they're going to have a hard time keeping him because he's a player. You know, he doesn't want to sit around behind a freshman in Chase Dodd. So hopefully what Greg Schiano will be able to accomplish is to convince these two guys to compete for the job. And it's going to make you better. Wherever you go, you're going to have to compete. Savage, whether it's at Rutgers or wherever he would transfer.
Oh, sure.
You know, so you just got to stay and compete, finish your job. But you got to know as a player, you're going to be given an honest opportunity to compete.
Deerling is in there. Spread option. Gets back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Sidney Glover came up. Josh Taylor, number 94, finished him off. So basically, you're taking skill guys right now, wide receivers and running backs, using them at the quarterback spot and trying to run the option.
It's simple. And as much football as we watch throughout the fall, teams win who are able to get the ball in their best players' hands. And so right now, that means you've got to put guys like Deering and Sanu, they got to go back and play the wild night position. You got to get the ball in their hands.
It's very effective, but the downside is when you have to throw, you're in trouble. Throw to Thomas out in the flat. Thomas hitting the backfield and taken down, and West Virginia sniffed that one out. Terrence Garvin, the strong safety who leads his team in tackles, came up and made the tackle in the backfield.
It's time for Rutgers to realize that West Virginia is flowing mighty hard. They're going to have to come with some kind of misdirection. The ball wasn't thrown well where he had a chance to get up the field and run the ball. But you've got a very fast, aggressive, pursuing defense. There's our man down there in the end.
Bruce Irvin, number 11. Chase Dodd checks in at quarterback. It's a passing situation on 3rd and 13. Irvin single block this time, and Dodd throws, completes the pass over the middle. And still going is Deering. Deering inside the 15-yard line. So if he's not in there in the wild night formation, they put him out as a flanker. And Dodd hit him for 32.
All right, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I figured out one thing pretty quick in this deal. Pass protection was there, and find the true freshman, number 18, Deering. Hey, he's a good job. Tries to get a bull rush going on the left tackle, and Stapleton hung in there and gave his quarterback time to throw the ball. And Deering has shown the ability to make plays.
Ran right over one of the defenders, and it's a first down at the 13-yard line. Deering again at quarterback. Keeps it straight ahead. Hit at the line of the scrimmage and bent back. Sidney Glover, one of the big safeties, and nearly 210 pounds, just stood him up.
This is great discipline here by West Virginia's defense. They're trying to show an overload. You've got 5 to the left over here, okay? So once Deering gets the ball, I know that's right there at the time, but they fill the lane. I mean, that's gap responsibility. Do your job. Don't go run somewhere else where the bodies are.
Clock running down to 3 minutes and 27 seconds. West Virginia on top 14-0. Sanu now comes in at the Wildcat formation. He can throw. Looked like motion early on the left side of the Rutgers offensive line. First mistake they have made.
False start, 86 offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
And that's Art Forst, who is normally a tackle. They switched his number today. He is starting as a tight end.
6'8", 311 pounds. That's a pretty good sized tight end. I don't know.
May not go out much.
Well, if he does, I'd hate to see a little DB come up on that.
Dodd comes back in as they'll spot it back near the 19-yard line. Thomas, the running back. Dodd with good protection, throws back to Thomas. Wide open, and Thomas scores the touchdown for Rutgers. The freshman from Endicott, New York, got lost in the flat. Dodd got protection and hit him.
What I just say to you, Mike, about misdirection, you've got an aggressive defense. They're overflowing. You've got to take advantage of that. You've got to make a call that takes advantage of a defense not staying in hold.
Now they'll line up in the go-for-2 formation if you don't cover it, and San T comes on for the point after. That was a nice drive by Rutgers. 79 yards in 12 plays, 6:51 off the clock. And Sansantee knocks it through, and the Scarlet Knights have cut the lead in half. 2:52 to go in the first half of play. West Virginia 14, Rutgers 7.
This year has a new and improved lineup of bowl games. 6 Big East Bowls, including the Beef O'Brady's Bowl, the BBVA Compass and AutoZone Liberty Bowls, the New Era Pinstripe Bowl, the Meineke Car Care Bowl, the Champs Sports Bowl, and it all culminates with the BCS Bowl game. Be a part of the action. Go to BigEastBowlCentral.com to buy your tickets and to get more information. BigEastBowlCentral.com.
Few smiles on that Rutgers sideline, and they have not had a lot to smile about in the last 6 weeks. But that was an impressive drive, most of it out of the Wildcat or Wild Knight formation, and they did a good job.
Now, this team has had a ton of emotional baggage this year with their teammate Eric LeGrand having the spinal cord injury that he had. Emotionally handicapped. I mean, you can understand too, as a parent, as a player, as a university.
And there was some good in the last week. He is breathing on his own in a rehab center, and that is wonderful news for him. And of course, all his teammates thinking about him constantly. Eddie Davis on the return. And Davis across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Let's take a look back with our Chick-fil-A drive recap, Craig.
Well, it all started because they were running the football. Rutgers found a way to run the ball. They moved the ball around and had a nice job of getting into Jeremy Deering's hand, and the run and the effort, and then the composure, the play action, the misdirection, execution. But because of the running, that West Virginia front four have not been able to get back and pressure out Dodd.
Smith in the shotgun, gives to Devine, hit at the line of scrimmage, spins out, picks up maybe a yard. The middle linebacker, Steve Boharness, was right there.
Mike, I want to try to show you that it's more of a bunny hop than a cut as we watch Devine. It's I don't know if bunny hop's the right word, but he's hopping. See, he's hopping. He's not hopping and exploding.
Go to the screen this time and overthrow Devine, incomplete. No, he is obviously not 100%. And, you know, when somebody says, well, he's 80% or he's 90%, he is certainly not the Noel Devine that drove defenses crazy the last 2 years. He can still get it done, but he needs a clearer field. He can't just make people, he can't evaporate in front of people anymore.
Slot down here on the right.
Rutgers showing blitz. They come with 6. Alston, Tavon Alston. He's thinking the whole time, I'm going to catch this pass and make this cut and get just a little more out of it. Gain of 26 on a perfect throw.
Rutgers just didn't seem settled on that 3rd and long. They were trying to figure out how to line up on the inside, and you could just see that's not good technique. That's a blown job. Marcus Cooper over there, the sophomore, allowed himself to get lured into the middle. Austin took advantage of him.
If Smith had led him the way you would expect, that pass would have been intercepted because he's throwing into double coverage. Jock Sanders fighting for extra yardage, picks up probably enough for a first down. Now for today's Aflac trivia question. What former Mountaineer is the only player to win MVP of the Super Bowl as a member of the losing team? Give you a minute to think about that. Quarterback.
Got it. I got that part.
Draw, Smith. Blockers in front. Smith inside the 15 to the 12. Manny Abreu chased him downfield and made the tackle, but another big gain for West Virginia with the clock running.
Without Noel Devine's running ability in this game so far, the 2 or 3 times that Geno Smith has taken off has replaced that.
That's a great point, Craig, and it really has. He has become that additional weapon. And Rutgers, with Greg Schiano out on the field, get a timeout and stop the clock at 1:11. Well, here was the Aflac trivia question. What former Mountaineer is the only player to win MVP of the Super Bowl as a member of the losing team? I bet you can't get this.
I didn't. But I can't believe I didn't, because I was a huge Cowboys fan.
And it was a Cowboy, Chuck Howley, who was an all-pro linebacker many, many years. The same followed Sam Huff.
The Colts game. I was miserable. I mean, as a young kid, when they lost that game, I remember it was a field goal kick.
And he was just a brilliant defensive player.
Yeah.
Good drive for the Mountaineers here. They're down to the 13-yard line. Still plenty of time to go, trying to answer that Rutgers touchdown. The offense finally starting to play at the same level the defense has played most of the year. Sanders end around. Nice cut to get free. Goes out of bounds inside the 10. Just so quick. Jock Sanders is 5'7", 179 yards. And he looks for all the world like they got him behind the line of scrimmage, and he just fires between those two.
Rutgers stayed at home. He was there. He just ran right by them. That's that old great saying, you can spy all you want, but if you don't have the ability to do it and make the tackle, it's worthless.
Devine is in as the tailback. Fake the end around, and Smith going to be thrown to the ground. Antonio Lowry just had a bead set on the quarterback. He wasn't going to go for any of the fakes and burst right up the middle.
That's his job. That quarterback booting out, naked, going backside. Lowry does his job. Eye on the ball. He averages almost 9 tackles per game. That's great coaching. I've watched Greg Schiano in practice and the way he drills his offense, and he makes sure guys understand their take care of their role.
Loss of 11. West Virginia pushed all the way back to the 20. For the end zone, and incomplete. Intended for Brad Starks. LaFage was there. And that ball hung up.
It had to hang, though, Mike, because the pressure was there. He had to throw it prematurely. A great job of giving his receiver a chance. And then LaFage. Joe LaFage is a guy who has really had a lot of pressure and has not probably had the season he would. But that play right there shows his ability.
Bittenkurt will come on to try a 37-yard field goal. And it's blocked. And Rutgers will take over at the 24-yard line. They have been outstanding at blocking kicks throughout Greg Schiano's career. And it looked like Charlie Noonan, number 96, was the guy who got it.
Captain Charlie Noonan of this football team coming through right before half, making a big play. You see the push, and then the lift gets up. That's a nice job. That ball was a little low on his trajectory, but West Virginia, and Bill Stewart told us, we have to win the special teams war. We've got to win that phase of this game today. We can't allow Rutgers to beat us in that part.
And right now, Rutgers has the advantage in that part of the ball game. Some coaches will tell you it is a third. Offense, defense, and special teams. At the half, our score is 14-7. The Capital One halftime report is coming up with John Saunders and Jesse Palmer.
First of all, Coach,
right after these messages, it's 14-7 West Virginia.
And execute.
Rutgers will get the ball in the second half as the Mountaineers won the toss to start the game and took the ball. Robinson and LaFage are deep to receive. LaFage reversed his field and goes down inside the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary for the first half.
Talking about the turnovers there, that was a big deal because West Virginia, 2 of their first 4, they scored touchdowns. The only 2 they didn't were because of the fumbles.
Rutgers only with 115 yards in total offense, but a lot of it came on that one drive, which produced 7 points. And we'll see how they want to start the second half, and it's with Deering who did very, very well out of that wild night formation in the first half. And Deering will keep off the fake to Thomas. And West Virginia has Leonard up there and a whole host of companions to drag him back.
You know, West Virginia is going to recognize, too, that they're going to come out and try to replicate what they had with that successful touchdown drive. And I go back to, again, the misdirection. They've got to somehow take away the speed and the aggressiveness of West Virginia's defense.
Well, this defense for the Mountaineers, number 2 in the country against the run, the number 3 total defense, and number 2 against scoring, giving up only 12.6 points a game. They have not given up more than 21 the entire season. Dodd is back in there, straight back to throw. Throws the out complete, and it's Harrison. And Harrison across the 40 to the 43 for a first down. And it looked like Pat Miller, the corner out there, slipped.
Yeah, there are no protection problems here for Rutgers. You know, came into the game with 55 sacks. Look at what has happened to that defensive line of West Virginia. They've slowed their rush down because of the ground game that they found now at Rutgers. So Dodd can throw it, no question about it. And Coach Stu not too happy about it either.
Thomas, the tailback, slips off a tackle, goes off the right side into West Virginia territory down to the 48-yard line. Another significant gain. That was about 7 yards.
And here's what Stu's concerned about. Coach Stu's afraid that you've got a team in Rutgers that's playing loose. They have no pressure on them. And the longer they stay in this game, the more confidence they're going to have, the more pressure that West Virginia's going to feel, knowing that if they win and tonight UConn loses, they're the BCS team.
And even if UConn wins tonight, West Virginia would have a share of the Big East championship. 2nd and 3. Thomas trying to get outside. West Virginia diagnosed that perfectly. Sidney Glover, number 4, chased him out of bounds for a loss. 3rd down, a big personnel change for West Virginia. Big personnel change for Rutgers as well.
Would you see that? I bet there were 6 or 7 new bodies. Everybody but a big guy come on out.
Dodd is back in on 3rd and long. And his best blocking running back, Cordell Young, number 8, is back there with him. Delayed blitz by West Virginia, and they got Dodd that time back at the 41. Bruce Irvin with his 11th sack of the year, the designated pass rush specialist of Mount San Antonio Community College.
Did you see the speed, the explosiveness coming out of his stance? Like he was on a track coming out of his blocks. That's why they say this guy has a chance to be the next LT around this area.
Tied for 6th in the country in sacks coming in. That will move him up to 6th all by himself. Josh Sanders, fair catch signal, makes it inside the 8. 49-yard kick and a beauty. West Virginia will start from inside its own 10.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
3 short years ago in 2007, West Virginia was a win away from the national championship game, and they hosted their arch rival Pittsburgh in the first quarter. Pat McAfee missed a pair of field goals. Then quarterback Pat White dislocated his thumb in the second quarter. Pitt ran in a couple of touchdowns. They won 13-9, and it spoiled the Mountaineers' chance to play in the national championship game. Not as much on the line today, but certainly a shot at the BCS and part of the Big East championship. The Mountaineers only up 7 in this one. Austin out to the 20. It's a gain of 11. That'll be enough for a first down. Brew made the tackle.
Well, Rutgers is really trying to shake up things here. You're going to see a fire zone. He's going to drop. Well, they're covering the middle of the field, but Geno Smith sees all this stuff as the other defensive tackle. But you see the fire zone where they're covering the middle, and that's smart. Smith's throwing it to the flats.
Devine on the delay. Nice hole, and Devine across the 25 to the 26. Brew again, and he has been extremely active today. the strong side linebacker for the Scarlet Knights.
I like the pace here. West Virginia going to wake that offense up, put a little pressure on Rutgers.
We've got 3 different speeds they can go. Jock Sanders got a block, shakes the tackle to the 32, another first down. Kasim Green, the free safety, makes the tackle. Sanders has now caught a half dozen balls in his final game in Morgantown.
Did you see his feet? How he got it, just avoided the hit.
He and Devine throughout their careers have done a remarkable job when we've got an injury on the Rutgers side. And it's Brandon Jones who is down, number 25, a corner. Well, there'll be plenty of football for you all day long and all night long, but we've got some great basketball as well. It's a rematch of the national championship game at 3:15 on ESPN. Butler and Duke, what a game it was. Butler lost some very talented, skilled players. Duke is loaded for bear and undefeated so far. Only be the third meeting between these two.
You know what?
The last, of course, was the national championship game.
And I love college basketball, but and I've grown up. It's almost like you spell Duke one D-U-K-E.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a good point.
When are they not good?
Virtually never. Mike Krzyzewski has won his 4th national championship. He is on the verge of passing Dean Smith and Adolph Rupp, and Bob Knight will be probably sometime next year. Just a remarkable accomplishment with what he has done with that program over the years. 1st and 10, West Virginia. Smith has time. Deep down the middle, Tavon Austin. Austin to the 25, ran out of his shoe. I would love to see that again, because Tavon Austin, he does it so often. He is already thinking where he's going to go before he makes that catch. And if he can start going before he makes the catch, he does.
The protection, the speed on the outside. Look at the 2 tackles, push them beyond Gino. Gino trusts his tackles. Now, Tavon Austin took his eyes off the defenders, looked to see where the ball was, then redirected, found the ball again. Phenomenal athleticism.
5 catches, 112 yards for Tavon Austin in this ball game. He is a remarkably skilled player. Smith again, now he's going to take off against that 4-man rush. Just tripped up at the 24-yard line. And it was the defense alone who saved at least 5 yards.
Valone, a freshman All-American last year. He's a sophomore, one of those young guys that's going to have a nice career. That's outstanding effort. Just is able to get that shoe. Beautiful effort.
Devine is the single setback and a 4 wide receiver set. And Devine will get the carry. Excuse me, Smith on the fake. Devine gives him a block, and Smith is down to the 10-yard line for a first down. Oh, that was very well executed.
Well, for a coach in Coach Stu who's wanting to get away from the quarterback zone read, not too bad here. Reads the guy. You see the defensive end bail hard to the inside on Devine. It's the proper read. Pull the ball. Smith runs it, and he's got the athleticism to make it happen.
1st and 10 at the 11. Austin goes to the slot. Sanders goes in motion. And there was movement up front. Let's see who moved early. The tackle, Valone, is saying it was Eric Jobe, the only senior starter on that offensive line, and Jobe is pointing back the other way.
False start, 61 offense, 5-yard penalty, down.
First penalty against West Virginia today. And we're in the 3rd quarter with 8:45 to go.
You know what? That's a senior in Job, 61. He moved it. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Valone, the sophomore, says, I'm going to give you something. Job, you got to be smarter than that. You're a senior. Keep your head on the swivel.
Well, you watch those linemen stand up when they're changing the play, and Pat Smith is coming in saying, that's what I was doing. I'm changing the play, and he stood up to listen. Smith looks for the end zone, throws underneath, and it's his former high school teammate Stedman Bailey at the 5.
Nice job of Bailey focusing, keeping this thing from hitting the turf. His hand strength, which we've been told he has great hand strength, and that he also has great body control.
Spotted at the 5. Smith cut down at the 2, and his legs chopped out from under him by Joe LaFege. A solid tackle. They need to reach the 1 for a first down. And here come the big guys. Ryan Clark leads them out, the 247-pound fullback, and Lindemood, who is his counterpart at 235, is in there.
Well, I go back now. I know this is a strong, well-conditioned football team. You know, Jesse Palmer and I on Thursday nights have been doing workouts around the country.
Right.
Law School Hill, right behind us in this press box, owns half of my life, I think. It crushed me. And this Mountaineer football team, what they go through here in their training is unbelievable.
That far short. Of course, you've given the other half of your life to that spa you went to.
But the spa treatment in Tucson on Wednesday was kind of nice. It was a first for me. And my feet have never hurt me, but they do now. I think they rubbed the manliness out of my feet. The pedicure felt great at the time, but my feet are hurting now.
Lindemood, the up back. Clark, 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. 3rd and inches. The last time, Clark tried to go over the top and had to bounce it outside. Clark off right guard, this time to the goal line. He's not in, but they're going to have a first down. Lowry made the... And it will be 1st and goal from an inch away.
You see how deep and low those defensive tackles got, and then Lowry filling in there. I mean, that's one of the things today in the ball game where the Rutgers defensive line has been able to penetrate and negate that offensive line.
10th play of this drive. Everybody in tight on both sides. Clark again, touchdown. That's his 2nd running score today. It's just hard to stop some guy who is a good running back and weighs nearly 250. Any kind of a crease, he's in. Bittencourt is on for the point after, and the Mountaineers with an impressive drive to start the second half. 91 yards, and had to overcome their first penalty to get it.
Yeah, they also had, this was on that particular drive, the big long pass, the great pass protection. Gave Tavon Austin a chance for a big play down the field, and then Clark finishes it off for his 2nd touchdown of the day.
ESPN's College Football on ABC, brought to you by AT&T. We think possible. And Allstate. Dollar for dollar. Nobody protects you like Allstate. Are you in good hands?
Part of that beautiful original campus here in Morgantown. There are 2 campuses at West Virginia University. Class is winding down here. Final exams start about 9 days from now. That's the time everybody loves, huh?
Yeah. When it's wound down.
That scoring drive, 91 yards in 10 plays, took nearly 5 minutes off the clock, and was exactly what Phil Stewart had in mind to start this second half.
30 degrees. I'm not sure where the thermometer is. I don't know where 30 is. It's not in this booth.
No. LaFege missed 1 tackle. Stedman Bailey got him at the 35-yard line, and we check in with Robert Flores. Robert.
Like Taco Bell studio update, you know, Central Florida began the day 9-3, tied with Florida State for the best record in the state of Florida. They're leading SMU 17-0. Latavius Murray a couple of touchdown runs. Meantime, coming up next right here on ABC, Mike Riley and Oregon State. 114th meeting of the Civil War against number 2 Oregon. For the Ducks, a trip to the BCS National Championship game on the line.
You always got to be careful in those kind of games, and Mike Riley can coach. Dodd is in a quarterback for Rutgers, now down by 14 points. Dodd straight back to throw. Junior Miller chasing him from behind and overthrown. And it looked like D.C. Jefferson, the tight end, pulled up on that. It looked like a better throw from Dodd than an effort from Jefferson.
Yeah, I think that Dodd was expecting Jefferson to stay down the field. He gets a little bit dislodged there. He just got to stay up the field. He just didn't see the ball. He didn't realize it was coming towards him. But that was a good job of Dodd moving up just enough to buy time to throw the ball down the field.
Got to have a little more focus than that. D.C. Jefferson, a converted quarterback. Thomas, the tailback, will get a carry. And he's roughed up after about 2. Terrence Garvin, the strong safety, is up to make the stop. And West Virginia, that runs this odd 3-3-5 stack defense, and they shuffle a lot of personnel on third down, including Bruce Irvin, who already has a sack. Of the Mountaineers 3,
you mean
Junior Miller has the other 2.
You mean he comes in fresh?
Yes, he does.
Okay, that's what the tackle's thinking right now.
Yeah. And they don't have anybody on that side to chip. So they'll throw the screen, and it will lose 2 or 3 yards. West Virginia all over that. Broderick Jenkins made the tackle. Keith Stroud. It was a good call. They opened up that side and threw the ball to Stroud, but Jenkins was right there, and it cost them.
Yeah, you know what? There's so much speed inside against West Virginia. There have only been 4 passes yards that they've tried down the field. It just got to change. You saw them down the middle. They got to connect. They've got to open up, loosen up West Virginia.
Delegan to punt. He's had a good day. It's off another high spiral. 2 West Virginia guys are there together. Woods takes it across the 25 to the 26. 6-yard return after a punt of 43. West Virginia ball when we come back, third quarter. What that sign means is if West Virginia wins today, all these people are going to become South Florida fans in a heartbeat because 3 Big East schools are still alive. UConn controlled its own destiny. They're in if they beat USF tonight. They're also in a head-to-head tiebreaker if they lose, but the other teams do too. West Virginia gets the nod if they win and UConn loses. Pitt is also alive. If they win and the others lose, the Panthers are in. Right now they're leading Cincinnati 21-10. West Virginia on top here. Connecticut and South Florida play tonight. Mountaineers take over at their own 26. Smith under pressure, dances away from trouble. Nice fake, gets drilled as he gets to the 34-yard line. Tomorrow night, ESPN will get you ready for the bowl season. First at 8:15 Eastern, you'll get the final BCS countdown and witness the unveiling of each BCS bowl matchup. Then at 9, find out what bowl your team will play in, plus a breakdown of each matchup from our experts in the Bowl Selection Special. The BCS countdown presented by Tostitos and the Bowl Selection Special on ESPN tomorrow. Craig James will be there to sort it all out for you. Smith, and will have enough for the first down out near the 37. Right now, they're using Noel Devine more as a decoy than anything else because with that toe injury, he simply can't run.
And you know what? Geno Smith on the previous run where he had the 8 or 9 yards, you saw his athleticism, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he can run.
Yes, he can.
There's no question about that. There's just no depth there, and I think that's what Coach Stu's concerned about if he were to go down.
They've got Barry Brunetti behind him, who is a very talented freshman dual threat quarterback. Here's Sanders on the option toss. He'll get a couple of yards before he's driven out of bounds. But Brunetti has only handled a few snaps, and he is right now more of an option quarterback, and Smith is far more a skilled passer.
Well, they explained that the athleticism of Brunetti was kind of Jeremiah Masoli type.
Yes.
Former Oregon quarterback, now at Ole Miss.
That's pretty good.
That's good. Really good praise.
And there is Brunetti, who was recruited out of Memphis as one of the top 10 dual threat quarterbacks in the country. Austin with another catch up to the 48-yard line in the first down.
But this is why Bill Stewart and his staff will throw the ball more. Watch the strength and the courage to stand in the pocket. Geno Smith gets hit, but he stayed there waiting on his receiver to get open.
Michael Laro landed on him. Full force with 255 pounds. That's just what we were talking about and just what they were scared of. The good news for West Virginia would be if Pat Smith has an injury. You win this game, you've got all that time off before the bowl.
Yeah.
But that would be small consolation right now.
You know, it's one of those deals where the game is physical, it's tough, and if Geno gets hit, he's going to get hit, and you just have to hope that it's not too bad, and hopefully it's just his wind getting knocked out there.
Well, he gets a standing ovation from the Mountaineer faithful because he is the key to that offense. He has been so exceptional this year, throwing for almost 2,500 yards.
I like how he stands in there, though. And that's what good quarterbacks do. They've got to stand there knowing they're going to get drilled right in the chin and to allow the time for their receivers to get open.
But now West Virginia is going to take a timeout on top of this to let Smith clear the cobwebs a little bit. Hey, it's a good move. Give him an opportunity if he's able to come back in right away to do it.
Yeah, then you don't have to put Brunetti in there, take a snap, and perhaps a fumble or anything. You can keep Geno Smith in the game. Rutgers has done a nice job, though, haven't they, in this game?
Yes, they have.
Because they had all the makings of not coming in here playing hard because, you know, really nothing on the line. But they've shown pride, and Greg Schiano and his staff, they've had them prepared, ready to play.
Well, you're coming in here, nothing's going to salvage your season. You've given up over 100 points in the last 2 weeks. There's not a whole lot to play for except personal pride and, you know, the dedication to your coaching staff and your teammates, and they're doing it.
I always remind players when I speak to teams, you're working out 365 days out of the year for the opportunity to play 12 days.
Yeah.
Only 12 games. Give it all you got, because when it's over, it's over.
Great way to put it. Coming up later this afternoon, ABC will bring you the number 2 team in the land. Heisman hopeful Michael James leads Oregon against Jacquizz Rodgers and the Oregon State Beavers in the Civil War. A win, and the Ducks are on to the BCS championship game. College football presented by K Jewelers on ABC at 3:30 Eastern.
Boy, that's a great game. I had a chance to announce the Civil War last year. It's a lot of passion there. Oregon State would love to knock off the Ducks. I just don't see it happening.
The North won, didn't they? Blew over the gray. And I'm not sure what the holdup is here. They're talking to both coaches about
it. Took me a while.
Yeah, it did.
I've been absorbing it. I've been sitting
West Virginia is not charged for the team timeout.
Well, I think what they're going to say, even though West Virginia took the timeout because the training staff had to come out there, he was going to have to come out of the game. So Barry Brunetti has thrown the ball only 9 times this year and run it once. Is on. And Brunetti with a fake gives it to Devine. That's always a good plan. And Devine to the 46. And here comes Pat Smith right back in the ball game. Geno Smith.
Yeah, that's a good sign there, obviously, for West Virginia. The last thing they want to do is lose.
And that would not have been a situation where they got him hurt by running the option. He was just standing in the pocket. 4 wide receivers, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Devine, the running back. West Virginia trying to get another sustained drive down here. Smith bumped. And down he goes to 49. Just waited a little bit too long that time. The protection can't hold up forever.
Yeah, he was really looking for a deep ball down the field, and he's waiting for his receiver to get open. He's waiting. He has a little pump there, and you can't do that. You cannot hold the football that long.
Silvestro gets the sack. Don Barclay, the left tackle, held him out quite a while. Alston is in there on 3rd and long, number 20 as the running back. Blitz coming. Smith over the middle. Will Johnson, the big tight end. The first time they have thrown to him all day. Last week, the only time they threw to him was a touchdown in the end zone.
Well, he likes big plays. Now, Rutgers changes it up. On 3rd and long, instead of dropping 8, they decide to bring pressure, 5 or 6. But Geno Smith showing you that he's a quarterback, understands pressure, and finds his tight end, Will Johnson.
What a play call. The first time you throw it to the tight end all day, you wait for that situation, and Johnson hits him for 38 yards, and we have a Rutgers player down. And it's the backup corner, Brandon Jones. You know, I have always admired offensive coordinators who are going to keep one in their back pocket and just wait and wait and wait until they think this is the right time. Well, that was the right time for that one. 38 yards, and it's got a first down just outside the 10. Back after this.
This year has a new and improved lineup of bowl games. 6 Big East Bowls, including the Beef O'Brady's Bowl, the BBVA Compass and AutoZone Liberty Bowls, the New Era Pinstripe Bowl, the Meineke Car Care Bowl, the Champs Sports Bowl, and it all culminates with the BCS Bowl game. Be a part of the action. Go to BigEastBowlCentral.com to buy your tickets and to get more information. BigEastBowlCentral.com.
It is ABC's Winter Wipeout. It's the same show with snow, with more spills, thrills, and lots of chills. Winter Wipeout premieres Thursday, January 6th on ABC. Still tending to Brandon Jones, who's down at the 25, and good news, he pops up. Watch the block, blindside. Just leveled.
You know, you're talking about the coordinator having confidence in all this. How about Jeff Mullen with those plays, and he calls them, and then Geno Smith executing them? I mean, I just can't. You and I talked about it back watching this West Virginia team when they were playing Marshall that day, and they went to overtime, and we said, wow, that young man there, now there is a quarterback.
Yeah, yeah. Ivan McCartney was the freshman wide receiver who threw the block. 1st and 10 from the 11. Smith changing the play. Devine. You know that Bill Stewart would love to come up with something that would break Noel Devine and give him a chance to score. He has been such a great player for this team. In his last game in Morgantown, he would love to be able to have this kid shine one more time.
Yeah, and they try to throw him some swing passes to get him in the open.
Second and 9. 5 wideouts this time, and Smith, quarterback draw, still on his feet. And what is the ruling? Rutgers has the football. Taken away by Boharness. Smith fighting for the end zone. Boharness comes out with it. This will certainly be reviewed.
But you know what? What a great effort by Rutgers, and what they're trying to do.
They
just don't give up. They don't quit the play. That ball's loose before it crosses.
Play is under further review.
That's a turnover. That particular shot right there, the ball had not crossed that plane. And Rutgers might have avoided 6. And that's to be indisputable video evidence. And I mean, that's one of those that the ball, it looks like right here, is out. It's up to his chin before it crosses that plane.
You can't see the backside of his body, whether he might have been down or not. Maybe this replay will show it. And
it's out.
No, it is out. And that's going to be the 3rd fumble West Virginia has lost. They nearly lost to 4th, and all of them have been within 10 yards of the goal line.
Yeah, I think Geno
After
Smith.
further review, The runner lost possession of the ball before crossing the goal line. It is a fumble. First down, Rutgers.
It's a good call.
Yeah, it's the right call. Now, here's Greg Schiano's got his team off the bench. He's over there, and he's trying to convince them, fellas, go execute, do your job. And they go back. I go back to that scoring drive they had, where they had 7 runs, 5 passes. They got to get the run going.
So they'll take over at the 7-yard line. Dodd back in the end zone, looking to throw. Now being chased. Junior Miller missed him. Here comes the defense, and he throws it away. Good play by Dodd just to get rid of that.
Turnover's a real key point in this football game. West Virginia, they've got 21 points, but they've turned those ball over 3 different times, and all, like you said, Mike, with a chance where they could have gone in to score. They had 7 against UConn, and that's
lost 4 of them, right, including 1 in overtime. They have fumbled at the 8 to 13, the 1-yard line. Deering is going to come in to run the night on 2nd and 10. Dodd nearly got caught in the end zone. Deering fakes the handoff, goes straight ahead, and West Virginia snuffed that one out the last couple of times. Anthony Leonard, the middle linebacker, said, "I've got the quarterback." And he goes straight ahead to get Deering.
When you talk about this game and Rutgers offense, their scoring drive, they had 5 first downs on that drive. The other 7 drives, only 3 first downs.
Dodd comes back in on 3rd and long. They have only rushed for 45 yards in this game in 23 tries. West Virginia, one of the best run defenses in the country. Dodd will go to the shotgun. West Virginia shows blitz and backs out of it. Dodd in the end zone under pressure. They got him back at the 4. The 4th sack of the ball game, the 3rd by Julian Miller, the right defensive end.
Julian Miller, you think if you take care of Bruce Irvin that you're going to be okay. And then here comes Miller, a guy that used to be 215 pounds, so you know he can run, put on a lot of weight to get to 260, and I actually think that Chase Dodd can see downfield. That's a big offensive line in front of him, and gotta let it go.
ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC station. Rutgers to punt out of its own end zone. Teddy Delagana. Standing near the end line. Jock Sanders waits back near midfield with J.D. Woods. Delagana gets it out of there. A nice high boot. Sanders forced to make the fair catch at midfield. A 46-yard kick under dire circumstances for Delagana. Tomorrow night, ESPN gets you ready for the bowl season. First at 8:15 Eastern, the BCS Countdown. You can see the official unveiling of each BCS Bowl matchup. Then at 9, find out what bowl your team will play in, plus a breakdown of each matchup from our experts in the Bowl Selection Special. The BCS Countdown presented by Tostitos, the Bowl Selection Special on ESPN. Both tomorrow night.
Big question, if Auburn loses, should they stick around to play for the national championship? If they lose, who jumps, CU or Stanford?
Geno Smith, the quick out. That's only going to get a couple of yards. Well, let's take a look at those BCS standings since you brought it up. Brought to you by Vizio, and Auburn playing South Carolina in the SEC championship game. Oregon and Oregon State. So any number of things could happen there. The only other top 10 team in action, Oklahoma, playing Nebraska in the Big 12 championship. Austin, straight up the middle. Tavon Austin. That's why Bill Stewart wants him to be a running back. He gets 1 carry in the game and gets 46 yards. And that is the burst that Devine does not have right now because of that injured toe.
Yeah, there's really nothing wrong with playing a little wide receiver, playing a little running back.
This kid is special.
Whatever he does, play it with the football in his hands.
He's out of Baltimore, the all-time Maryland leader as a running back. So the Mountaineers extend their lead to 28-7, even though they have lost 3 fumbles inside the 15-yard today.
Getting it from Rutgers right now. Mike?
Robert, thank you very much. We have 14-13 to go in the game. Tavon Austin, whether you line him up at a wide receiver or running back or left guard, you got to find a way to get him the ball. And when he touches it, good things happen for West Virginia.
Just a sophomore. 2 more fun years.
Rutgers on the return. LaVege taken down inside the 30.
Last week with their sporty look, Tavon Austin against Pitt. Boy, you talk about an athlete. You just hard to stay with him, and the ability that he has on the outside with those hands and as a receiver. And then we just saw what he did with the run.
And that's his pass reception for a touchdown today. And there's that run. Looked like one of the defenders had an angle on him, and he just blew by him like he wasn't even there.
He got in one hole, and the linebacker went there, and he came back and went to the hole that the linebacker didn't go to.
Dodd trying to throw the flanker screen, and that's going to be incomplete. Intended for Sanu, who has been troubled by an ankle for a long time. The guy that started as their running back this year, Martinek, has been troubled by an ankle injury since the 2nd game of the season. So injuries have played a big part in their campaign. Their starting quarterback, Savage, injured his hand, and Dodd replaced him and has stayed on as the quarterback ever since. Thomas, number 29, the running back. He'll get the carry on the delay. Nice cut by Thomas, takes it outside. First down and more, pushed out of bounds near midfield. Glover finally got him, but Jordan Thomas out of Endicott, New York, showed that fine speed on that run.
You know, we keep seeing these young players make plays from time to time, and that's what gives you hope as a Rutgers fan, knowing that next year's going to be a different year. And they'll come out in their offensive line, they'll get that mended. You saw right there that the offensive line at times can get their job done, but these skilled players around them, they've got to find a way to open them up.
Not much time across the field in this game. This will be only the 9th snap in West Virginia territory. Dodd in trouble, down he goes. And you can tell one of the reasons they have given up so many sacks, that was the 5th today and number 60 on the season. Sometimes you got to throw the ball away.
And that's why in my mind Tom Savage has a chance to compete and open this thing up in the spring. You know, one of these quarterbacks is going to learn to get rid of the football.
Yeah.
You know, you can't always say that it's the offensive line.
Scooter Berry got that sack. It was his 4th of the year. The Mountaineers is a team now 39 on the season, one of the best in the country. 4-man rush here. Dodd throws, incomplete, nearly intercepted. A couple of Mountaineers had a shot at it. Pat Miller was the first one, number 6. Got his hands on it but couldn't hold it.
And if you're a football team coming in, West Virginia's defense especially, understanding and realizing they know what the opportunity is.
What do you think those defensive linemen think when they see 55 sacks? I mean, they start salivating on Tuesday.
Well, they start talking in the cafeteria, yeah, in the locker room. I'm going to get mine.
Bruce Irvin, number 11, is in. He's the guy who has one of those sacks. Irvin coming from behind. He got another one. This kid is something else.
Mike, we showed you in the EA Sports this week the technique that he has. This is just a bull rush. He's got so much speed, but then once he gets into the tackle, Stapleton, he does not have enough strength to take care of him. And this is a classic Lawrence Taylor LT move. Remember now, they said they think he has that type of ability. LT used to run over you, around you. He kept a blocker on his heels.
6 sacks for the Mountaineers, 2 by Irvin. And West Virginia will get the ball back at the 16-yard line. Jock Sanders with the fair catch. One of the rising stars in college football leading that Mountaineer defense.
ESPN's College Football on ABC. Brought to you by K Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. Every kiss begins with K. Dr. Pepper, there's nothing like a pepper. And Nissan, proud partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Mountaineers have won or shared the Big East 5 times, the last coming in 2007 when they shared it with Connecticut but earned the BCS bid. Bruce Irvin with 2 sacks today has 12 for the year. That is 1 every 16.3 snaps. Daquan Bowers has 15.5. He leads the nation, but the sacks per snap far higher for an every down player. And it's just remarkable to watch. Combination of speed and power. Geno Smith sets up and throws. A good grab out there by Stedman Bailey, but only a couple of yards.
And Daquan Bowers is an every play guy. So now you've got to get Irvin, get him into the body shape and the ability to play the run as well as he does the pass.
And that's what they want to do next year, have him as a pass rushing defensive end, an every down player.
That takes the soft out of that 3-3-5 idea, right?
Yeah, it does. Divine, and you can just see how he cannot make the cuts he used to. Sort of glides and rounds them off a little bit. He's still very dangerous because of the speed, but he was caught from behind last week on one play, and that never happens.
See, he's chopping. He's chopping with his feet to compensate for the lack of ability to plant the foot and explode.
He is a gamer, though. Alston is in on 3rd and 2. Rutgers shows blitz. They come with a run blitz, and it works. Alston taken down in the backfield. Nice play by Alex Silvestro as he diagnosed that one in advance.
Senior having a nice final football game, Silvestro. You know, that's what sometimes we fail to remember. These are student athletes, right, Mike? They're out here and they're playing 3 or 4 years of college ball with their college student athletes.
And guys who are going to play hard no matter what, even if they're down 28-7 on a 5-game losing streak. And they the kicker, this team that has been so good at blocking kicks this year. They've blocked a field goal today.
Foul, roughing the kicker, number 3 defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Darrell Givens is the guilty party, but Pugnetti really went for a ride on this one.
Yeah, you know what, though? If you're going to try to go for it, they try to teach and they do a good job of the area that you try to take it off the punter's foot, the ball. Just if you're going to, it's high risk, high reward, right?
Well,
if you're going for it,
it's just high risk for the punter.
Yeah, it's never a reward.
Not much.
Offense gets to go back out there at my expense.
A cast on your plant leg. So West Virginia gets it back at the 37 with 10:10 left, and Divine is back in there, playing his final game at home in his senior season. Swallowed up for maybe a 2-yard loss. Manny Abreu, who's had a really good game, makes the stop. Well, you can just tell the coaching staff right now, hoping against hope, that he could pop one.
Yeah, they're hoping, they're trying. But the Big East, you know, if this continues, which it looks like it will, West Virginia is going to have at least a share. Puts a little excitement into that game. UConn down at USF tonight.
Yes, it will. Everybody around here, of course, will be rooting for USF as Starks makes a nice catch and stretches out to get to the 45. It'll be 3rd and about 2.
Yeah, as we finish up here in this quarter here, we've talked in our meetings and seen a lot of football around the country this year and have our ideas for the surprise teams in each conference, coaches of the year in each conference.
You have certainly seen more than than most people have seen this year with your Thursday, Saturday schedule. My hat is off to. Alston, second effort, got it to the 49, first down.
Well, as the truck's listening to us up here. I thought, we did Ralph Friedgen. Look at the job that he did for the ACC. Miami, the surprise being that they fire Randy Shannon, that they're not in the mix for a chance to compete for a conference title. That was a disappointment. Iowa was a surprise in the Big Ten. I thought they had a lot more than they ended up with.
Well, Texas may have been the biggest surprise anywhere.
And Mike Sherman. How about Mike Sherman and the Aggies?
Personal foul, number 7 offense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Al Devine at 5'8", 180 pounds, called for a personal foul, as there was a lot of pushing and shoving after the play.
But Mike Sherman was a guy that made the transition and went to a different quarterback in Tannehill, and his team took off. They're hot, playing extremely well, and they have a share of the Big 12 title after 3 losses when people thought they were done.
And apparently they got the number wrong. We're being told on the replays they're looking at in the truck, Noel Devine was not part of that mix. So the penalty is after the first down, so it's 1st and 25. Smith goes to the shotgun. 8:40 to go in the game. Clock running. Changing the play, and he's got the big backs in there with Clark and Sean Alston. And now the officials are going to talk this over. Pretty good day, Craig, for Geno Smith. 22 out of 27, 306 yards. He's hit 9 different receivers.
And didn't he start out 11 of 11?
He missed his first one, then
first one, then went 11.
Alston on the delay. Back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Antonio Lowry makes the stop. Pretty good linebackers for this Rutgers team. They have been very, very active. The official stepping in there and making sure there's nothing extra going on after the play.
Both of the safeties on this team, though, too many tackles, and that's not a good sign.
No. Not when the 2 safeties are among your leading tacklers, and they are 2 and 3 on this ball club. Draw play again. Alston makes the first man miss and picks up about 5 to the 39. Let's take a look at today's Good Hands play, brought to you by Allstate.
Good decision, Dave, by the coaching staff and Geno Smith to find Mr. Tavon Austin. Just phenomenal how he sees and tracks the ball in the air.
It really is. I have never seen anybody who adjusted the way he catches the ball to where he's going to go after he catches it. Third and long. And Smith throws long. Starks inside the 20 to the 15. A perfect throw by Geno Smith, and another 46 yards for the Mountaineers.
Earlier in the season, Brad Starks had 4 catches for 100 yards against UNLV. So you knew early on that this guy had a bright young star future. And you see the tracking of the football like his teammate Austin does. And Geno Smith getting it out there, staying soft with it, leading it, throwing it to the opening.
352 yards for Geno Smith today. That is a career high. He has just gotten better and better all year long. Draw play, Alston nearly runs over to the umpire. He's down to the 7-yard line. Kasim Green, the safety, made the tackle.
Nice day. Nice day. Great decision making. Has run just enough to force Rutgers to respect him. I like his decision making though.
I do too.
And his composure, don't you? I mean,
yeah.
He's just cool, calm, and collected.
Alston again inside the 5, down to the 1. This is the guy Bill Ford thinks is going to be his starting running back next year. 282 pounds. He's got speed as well.
You see the vision there in the cut, and then the power. After he got hit, he still got 3 more yards, and he took a blow low and high. This is just power. Two hands.
Noel Devine checks in on 1st down and goal. You just know they wanted to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
Devine. He'll lose a couple. Ball came loose. West Virginia has had fumbleitis today. They have lost 3, all inside the 13-yard line. Nearly lost a 4th. This would be the 4th. And the Mountaineers got it back. You just can't do this and win most of the time, can you?
No, you sure can't. But, you know, Devine, as he makes that cut, things are in his head. It's not just letting it go, cutting it loose. He's trying to figure out how to compensate for a foot. Just not the same.
Tyler Urban, the tight end, got it back. And against Connecticut, it was the thing that really killed them. They fumbled it 7 times. They lost 4 today. They've lost 3. And that's why they're going to have to wait for Connecticut to play South Florida tonight to see if they're going to be able to get the BCS bid out of the Big East. And Geno Smith wants a timeout.
Would you stand right there so I can stand behind you and you block the wind?
No, I'm moving. 4 minutes and 37 seconds to go in the ball game. We'll be back. It's a rematch of last year's national championship game at 3:15 on ESPN. Butler against Duke from Cameron Indoor, one of the great venues, not just in college basketball, but in all of sports. Oh, I'm told it's in New Jersey.
Great venue as well.
What, the whole state? All of New Jersey. Ryan Clark checks in as the running back. Cuts it outside. Touchdown. Pretty nifty for a short yardage guy. His first career 3-touchdown game here in early December in Morgantown. He's not just a fullback. This guy can run. Bittencourt for the point after. Another impressive drive by the Mountaineers. 84 yards, took them 7.5 minutes and 13 plays, and they overcame a 1st and 25.
You see that? Following fullbacks, following blockers. That looks like an I formation back right there.
I'm a big guy. I like to eat, so I like to. This is one place called the Sandwich U. A lot of students are familiar with it, and I'm familiar with it. A building called the Mountain Lair, and that has a lot of different stores in it, or people just sit there just to study. Our downtown campus. There's a bowling alley downstairs. There's a lot of different recreational things to do in there. I'll hit that up every once in a while. I love it here. I'm glad to call myself a West Virginia.
Chris Steele did our senior tour. Really nice guy. We met him yesterday. He said he always wanted to play for the Knicks, but there aren't too many 6'2", 301-pound point guards, so he is going to have to settle for nose tackle in the NFL. And one scout said not only is he going to be in the NFL, he will be starting in the NFL next year. He is that good. Rutgers to return the off out across the 40 to about the 43-yard line, and we check in with Robert Flores in New York. Robert.
Mike, last Friday, West Virginia held Dion Lewis to 34 yards. Cincinnati not having the same luck. Lewis, 4th touchdown of the day. He's got 261 yards. Panthers lead 28-10. Coming up next right here on ABC. Number 2, Oregon, taking on Oregon State, the Civil War. 3rd straight year, Rose Bowl implications in this game, but of course the Ducks hoping for a trip to the BCS National Championship. Mike.
Thanks very much. In West Virginia, hoping for a trip to the BCS. They've done their this afternoon. They have taken care of business against Rutgers, and now they're going to have to go home, get warm, and watch a ball game tonight with South Florida and UConn. If UConn wins, they get the BCS bid, and West Virginia and UConn would be co-Big East champions.
I don't know, it was what, 3 or 4 weeks ago on a Thursday night, we had Pitt at UConn. UConn beat Pitt, and they kind of started their run towards this opportunity for them. They're just a sound team. They don't make mistakes, and they hang around to the 4th quarter. Randy Edsall's not afraid of making calls that'll keep a defense and a team on their heels. So, you know what? UConn, I think, is the favorite to win that game, in my opinion. But yet USF is playing well, and after beating Miami last week, should be full of confidence.
That was a big one for him, yeah. DeAntoine Williams had that last carry, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and about 3. Williams stays in as the running back behind Dodd. Dodd wants to throw. Pressure coming. He's been sacked a half a dozen times. Now he takes off, and he is not going to get the first down. Tonight, 3 BCS Bowl berths on the line on the ESPN family of networks at 7:45 on ESPN. Number 21 Florida State goes up against number 15 Virginia Tech. That's the Dr. Pepper ACC Championship. On ESPN2 at 8, Connecticut needing a win to clinch the Big East faces South Florida. And on ABC at 8, number 9 Oklahoma against number 13 Nebraska in the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. Dr. Pepper Championship weekend on ESPN, ESPN2 and ABC Saturday. You don't think that's a huge game for Nebraska? They want to leave the Big 12 in a big way. They would do almost anything to win that game.
All right, and the other side of that, isn't it a big game for Oklahoma? They'd love to send Nebraska off.
Sure.
With a nice little parting shot. And I think Oklahoma's good. They had all those young players that Bob Stoops talked about in the first of the season that have matured, and Landry Jones has brought them together.
Yeah, they say even freshmen aren't freshmen at this time of the year. And there you see Neal, who does such a great job in the middle swallowing up blockers. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. And Tavon Austin with 2 huge plays in this game, 167 total yards, and Ryan Clark with a career-high 3 touchdowns. And there is Bruce Irvin of the 2 tackles, or the 2 sacks he got of the flanker screen. That's going to be enough for a first down for Rutgers, and the pass complete to Sanu. Well, why not? 4th and 3. What's the point in punting the football?
Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely.
West Virginia has just about all their reserves in there right now, and Rutgers trying to do something offensively against them. Dodd with plenty of time, throws deep, has a man inside the 10-5, touchdown Harrison. 44 yards. Dodd had plenty of time, took advantage of it.
Well, Mark Harrison, obviously the favorite target here. In 7 games coming into this game, he had 36 catches for 700 yards and 8 touchdowns. So you can understand why Dodd's looking down the middle of the field with confidence that Harrison's going to stick in there at 6'3", 220 pounds, and make that catch.
One of the Mountaineers shaken up, and it's Ian Smith, backup defensive back. Dinged up a little bit on that touchdown throw. And this will postpone the extra point momentarily, at least.
But see, you know what? If Greg Schiano doesn't go for it on 4th down, they don't have a chance to have a big play in this game, right?
That's right.
Have a good feeling, something positive to go into the offseason with.
That's right.
You're on national television. You're recruiting. You don't give up. You don't put the sword in the pocket. Or the saber.
Well, you never, listen, I don't know how much you know about the sword in your pocket, okay? You could really hurt yourself.
Too much hot chocolate up here.
Remind me never to loan you my sword. San Santee for the point after, and it's 35-14.
A lot of games.
You need a good long rest is what you need.
I was looking at my boards. There's some games with, I think this is my 28th game or something this year. And I was looking at my boards that we bring to all the games, and it was like, wow, I forgot I called that game. That was Oregon, Tennessee. Remember we did that?
Yeah.
That seemed like last season.
That was a long time ago.
Oh, my goodness.
Tending to Smith.
Well, our crew, we're going to have a good time coming up here in the bowl season. Going down to San Diego, the Poinsettia Bowl. Then we've got the Gator Bowl on the 1st.
Get a chance to see Navy again out in San Diego. They've had another good year. I think it's the first time ever. Army, Navy, and Air Force all going to bowl games. I think that's really great.
Really good. Really cool. Yeah, we'll see Navy and San Diego State out in Poinsettia. We'll find out tomorrow night on the Gator, but it'll be some good teams. 2 good teams.
Big game for West Virginia, even with the 3 fumbles. The Mountaineers able to rack up 35 points. And they are anticipating the onside kick. Instead, it will go deep, and Devine driven all the way back to his 15. Takes it outside of the 25-yard line. What do you think is going to be the closest of the games that we have tonight? I mean, there's some really important stuff going on.
If Nebraska's offense shows up, it'll be Taylor Martinez and those guys keeping it close. I think Oklahoma wins. South Carolina and Auburn is going to be a good ball game. That should be close. Only if Spurrier gives the football to Marcus Lattimore a lot of times. I mean, this is a game where South Carolina can compete as long as they're running the football. Auburn's good. I mean, if people want to talk about how bad, average on defense, Auburn, you don't win 12 games and go through their schedule without having some defense.
But the guy you mentioned, Marcus Lattimore, if you have not seen this kid play, you ought to watch tonight because he is something else.
Nice guy, too. A humble young man. Came in with high expectations, has lived up to them, and given Steve Spurrier a Cinderella season.
Barry Brunetti gets a chance to run the offense, and the Mountaineers will try to run out the clock. We're under 2 minutes. So West Virginia has done its part. At the very least, they're going to be co-champions of the Big East. And Bill Stewart will go bowling again.
How about Bill Stewart, though? You might have other people as nice as him. Nobody's nicer. And yesterday I get here, I have a journey from Tucson, Chicago, Pittsburgh, drive here to Morgantown. And what do you have waiting on me when I get here to the meeting?
All sorts of goodies to eat. Tons of stuff.
It was like the pepperoni.
Pepperoni bread, chili dogs, all from Colacesanos in Fairmont, which is a legendary place.
Just a nice guy. Great staff, as is Shano. All these guys, they work hard. They work really hard.
These are the scenarios with Connecticut needing to win tonight at South Florida. If they win, they're in. West Virginia will watch and root for South Florida. Pitt, they're gone. They're winning the game at Cincinnati, which they need to do, and that is a final now, 28-10. But their chances were crushed last week when West Virginia beat them in the backyard brawl. So it comes down to one game. Connecticut at South Florida. That's tonight. Mountaineers will have to run one more play and a big day for the West Virginia Mountaineers.
Pitt's Dion Lewis today. 42 carries, 261 yards rushing.